Hey everybody, I'm Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and today I'm going to show you how you can paint this gorgeous, expressive white peony in acrylic on canvas, step by step, for beginners. I'm going to explain every part of the process to you so you can create this for yourself at home. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hey guys.
He tracks me with many cameras, but really to make sure that you can see every part of the action, what I'm doing with the brush, how I'm mixing the paint, how I'm loading it, how the strokes are made. So that if you're trying to learn how to paint, it gives you the best possible chance to really see the techniques and understand how that painting is constructed. Art is a lot easier to put together, I think, than most people think. When you look at a painting, it feels so mysterious. How is that painting made? But as you see the process, as you see each step, you'll start to understand the layers and construction of acrylic painting and why it's actually a very beginner-friendly medium. I'm ready to just hop on in, babe.
All right.
Okay, let's go. Woo! Oh, we got our materials there. I love our materials. So you can see the paint colors that I'm going to be using today. I'm very excited about it. We've got titanium white, Cad yellow medium, Cad red medium. On this brand of paint, it's called fuchsia quinacridone, but what you're really talking about is quinacridone magenta, phthalo green, phthalo blue. This is tint white, zinc white, or mixing white would work. Assorted brushes for acrylic paint, water, and of course, a surface. Now I'm going to put my reference to the side over here. And I have a nice 8x8 surface. This is an artboard that I'm painting on. But look, you could use paper, you could use stretched canvas. Anything that's suitable for acrylic paint is perfectly fine. We want on our show to do wishes, intentions, or goodwill. So today I want to wish a happy birthday to Bethany. And also this painting is dedicated to Simone. We are wishing love, compassion, healing, and support while she goes through an absolutely unimaginable time in her life. And we're just hope that she's surrounded by everything she needs at this time. This painting is dedicated to her, and I think we're ready to just jump on in. Okay, so I'm going to put my coffee aside, as you do. Put the colors I'm not currently going to be getting into aside as well. Oh, you know what color I forgot to say we're going to be using?
What's that?
Burnt umber.
Burnt umber.
Burnt umber.
I got little peonies up there for you.
It's in the description below. You can always check the description below to see a complete material list. Also, there's a link to our website because sometimes people don't draw. That's not their favorite thing to do. And we provide a traceable. What's wrong? Oh, I got it. No, I was just saying I didn't put it out when I was going through the material list. I didn't lose it this time. I just didn't also put it out. So that's all that happened.
No problem.
So I'm going to
trying to be helpful.
No, you're doing great. Put out some colors, some wonderful colors that we're going to be using, and I'll point out exactly what these colors are again. Sometimes I like to squeeze out paint in front of you guys so you can kind of just see how I'm prepping the paint and how I'm doing that. So right now I have quinacridone magenta, titanium white, burnt umber, phthalo green, and phthalo blue. Now I'm going to take a little of my phthalo green and phthalo blue, one part, and one part, and I'm going to make a phthalo turquoise, which is just a fantastic color. You can buy phthalo turquoise pre-made in the tube. There's a lot of companies that do a very good version of this, but I like to just make mine. That way I have lots of extra little paints going. I'm getting a tissue here, babe. I have a roll of paper towels under my desk that I can use.
Disappearing Sherpa.
Now, the first part of this we're going to do is we're going to do our background. We're going to do a very loose and light background. It's going to be softly blended. That can seem challenging to beginners when they're first starting painting because acrylic paint dries so fast. Many of you tell me that's your number one challenge with the medium. So we're going to talk a lot about how we load our brush and things that we do. Now, I've got a number 30 bright here. It's just a nice big wide brush. And you're going to see that I'm dipping in the water jar and then dragging off the extra water. It's not like soaking, but there's moisture into it. And I'm going to begin by getting my burnt umber loaded into my brush. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm flipping over. And let's grab a little of our phthalo blue. And what this will do is it will darken and deepen that umber. Can you guys see how it's doing that?
Yeah.
So when we have that, we're going to come here and paint this around. We're going to move pretty quickly. And the reason you sometimes move a little quickly with this particular product with this particular paint is that it wants to dry. As I mentioned before, it just wants to do that on you. I'm going to wipe off my brush with my paper towel a little bit, and this time I'm going to get a little magenta and my umber kind of mixed together, and I'm going to come right here where we know we've got this sort of distant pink peony happening. All right, as we come down. And then as we're going to come down, we're going to get into maybe some stronger turquoise. Can you guys see that?
Mm.
So I've got my burnt umber and my phthalo blue there. I've got my quinacridone and my burnt umber here. And I've got my turquoise here. I'll put this to the side. Now, what you're going to see here, this is a dry brush that's very soft. It's a 1-inch. This particular one is called the Ultimate Varnish, but it's my Ultimate Blender. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your dry, clean brush, and while the paint is still wet, you're just going to softly blend over all the surfaces. See how we're doing that? Softly blend over the surfaces so that those edges are not as hard. You can get your brush a little bit wet and then take out all the extra water. See how hard I'm getting that water out? Right? And if you've got an area that you need to touch up, that'll give you a chance to do that. You really, on this part, want to be so careful once it's damp, because you could, if you over dampen it, pick up a little bit more paint than you wanted. But what we're trying to do is just soften it. Can you see how that works?
Yeah.
And that's a very soft finish, isn't it? It's just going and going and going. Well, on my monitor, it looks all black, so I don't know how it looks on your monitor.
Well, no, you can see a lot of subtleties.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. A lot of times people go into the oil medium because it's known for giving them those subtleties, but we can get that in acrylic too. I'm going to get more paper towels, as you do.
As you do.
Well, it's important to rinse out your brushes as you go. You want to get the acrylic paint sort of out of them, the big amounts of it. So you press it into the water jug at the bottom and make sure that you have the predominant amount out. You can dry it off and lay it to the side until you have a chance to wash it, because that's going to give you the best chance of keeping your brushes in good condition for a very, very long time. Now I'm going to also put out my tinting white over here. Okay, and then I'm going to add my, wherever I put it. What? I lost thoughts. There it is. I'm going to add some of my quinacridone to this mix. Quinacridone. This is my Cad Red Medium. You could use Naphthol Red Medium. There's a lot of reds that you could use there. Again, just check our website for the color exchanges whenever you need it. Those are always good. So now we have a nice little run of all the colors that we're going to be using. And we're going to start putting in our distant flower, right? Simple, happy things. So let's just grab a bright. This is a number 8 bright, just a simple little bright brush. I'm going to get it wet, drag off the extra, like you do. And let's take a little of our quinacridone. I'm going to work that in there. You may also, this can be nice if your paint is drying out. Whoops, squeezing so hard. This product is called Acrylic Glazing Liquid Gloss. It is only made by Golden Artist Colors. Only them. It's a glaze and a paint drying agent. So if you put this into your brush, it's going to slow down the drying of your paint. And it's still going to let you do soft applications and glazes. I went and got a little of this cad yellow over here. See how we do a little bit? Over here. And I'm working that in. Now I'm going to get a nice copious amount of my tint white. And we're going to come back here and we're going to make some soft strokes. See how I pressed in here and I kind of turned the brush to get that little leaf. Now I'm going to press in and curl back in. If I need a little more color on there, I can just come get it easily. I want my little detail brushes to run in. I'll come here and just, there we go. I just grabbed some titanium white, change that up. And you can see that creates a more opaque space. From right here in the middle, I'm going to pull that down. let's come here and put a hint of a distant little loose petal that's sinking off there into the distance. So these are very loosely sketched. The strokes tend to curve. Sometimes for you guys, let's soften that a little bit if we can. I'm just using my brush to soften that in. It can be hard for you guys to do the looser sketches, not because they're particularly not beginner friendly, but you're just not familiar with being okay with how you're laying down paint. I would say that would be more of what the issue is. It's like sometimes you guys lay down paint and you're like, I don't know, that you trust yourself. Now I'm going to come here next to this petal and I'm going to just press this out. I'm letting these edges be very raw. You guys see how I'm doing that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put another little layer there. Let's get some just magenta into the brush again. And a little of my glazing medium. And see, when I do that, that just lets me have these faded into the background little petals. And that's an important part of this. Now I can get a little of my yellow into my brush. I put it over there so I have access to it easily. And I can get right into my titanium white, which is much more opaque. I can still use my glazing medium to keep it soft and transparent. And I'm going to start this distant faded bowl. So my first stroke will be right here. Get a little more white into that. Maybe a little more yellow. I'm going to curve a stroke right here. There we go. I'm going to curve this one, but I'm going to bring it to the edge. Have you ever done calligraphy? So I'm going to press down and curl that in. See how we did?
I've done it badly.
There we go. See, that one went curled in.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes a minute to learn how to do this. If you've never painted in your life before, give yourself a hot second to learn the brush strokes and to learn how this works. It's very, very learnable. See, we had pressed here and we just pulled in like a comma. Let's do another one right there. I feel like we need one there. Now I'm going to rinse out for a second and I'm going to apply the center of my flower, and to do that I'm going to get my yellow and my quin together, as you might. And let's come right here and make short little strokes. This is the center of that.
I've noticed you've got a very marbled mix on your brush.
It's important to not overmix. I've grabbed some just yellow and I'm just dragging in, kissing in with the corner. Can you guys see that corner?
Yeah.
Kissing in that corner. Just a little bit. That's so nice.
I like
a little lovely bit of something. Lovely bit of something. Now I can come forward now and do forward petals. So just grab some of your quinacridone again. If you need your blending medium into the brush to improve flow, it can help quite a lot. I'm going to make these very light. And we're going to make these brush strokes in front of this bowl, but not covering it up. And that's going to give us that foreshortened perspective of the flower. You can see I kind of came here, I pressed and I pulled in. I'm going to curve and pull in, and I shorten these. And I'm going to make some short strokes that way. And let's just do a couple like that. So those are little petal skirts that are going out. That nice flower is just sitting there, being beautiful and delicate and suggested. In art, I'm going to sip my coffee while I have this little moment. And I get on my soapbox. In art, we have a term we like to use called suggested. We suggest something on the canvas. We don't put in all the lines. We don't put in all the visual information. We give just enough visual information so that the viewer's mind can finish the flower. Now, as a new painter, suggested is your Kilimanjaro. It's a lot, okay? So what you might need to do is on occasion when you're painting with me and you're doing a looser painting like this, take a minute, take a deep breath, walk across the room, get about 5 to 6 feet away periodically during the lesson, and look at your progress. Now, if for some reason you are bedridden and you cannot walk across the room, which I understand that happens for many different reasons, go ahead and take a picture with your cell phone or look at the painting in a mirror. and those will give you the similar effect. But what you're trying to do is get some distance from your artwork and see it as a fresh viewer would see it, not as its creator. Because sometimes looking at your painting as its creator blinds you to what it is, if that makes sense.
Totally does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love a painting in the morning.
This is turning out great.
It's just fun. It's just lovely. Let's put in some leaves. So I'm going to get a little of my turquoise, my green, and some yellow. And you're going to see that I have just loaded in this marbled way some paint. It can also be nice to grab just a little white into that. See this mishmash marbling of the paint?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do some of these curved strokes too, and these are going to suggest some leaves. That's awfully bright, so I might get back into my green a bit more. There we go. Let's just do one there. Little touch of a stroke there, touch of a stroke there. We could use some right over here. Maybe a little touch. If I touch this and then I curve in, that's kind of nice. Maybe curve a couple little soft. Oh, I'll have fun with it. I'll go crazy. I will just go bananas. Now I might want to put a couple of these down here because I'm going to put my big focal white flower up. So I'm going to grab some of my green and my yellow again. Lots of my glazing liquid, maybe even some of my zinc white. And you can, if you have trouble getting to any of the angles or places on your surface, remember you can move it. Get some green into that. And that will imply just a little bit of greenery there. And we can even come here with just a little bit. And so when we put our white flower over all of that, we'll have those distant little peeking leaves. How are your distant little peeking leaves? Don't yell at them. It's tempting to yell at your canvas, but don't yell.
Oh.
Don't yell. Tell your canvas that you love it. That it's been a good canvas.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to do this kind of white peony in front. What's nice about these, if you've ever been to the florist or if you've ever been lucky enough to be in a botanical garden that has them, there were some great ones in Canada I got to visit, and there's been some wonderful ones around the country that I've been blessed enough to visit. When you see these flowers in nature, they're just as if a party exploded off a stem. You just go, and there they are. So it's nice to get that feeling, and a lot of times they have lots of little colors and tones to them. So I'm going to get just a bit of this pink on here, as you might want to, and maybe just a smidge of the yellow as we did before, but quite a lot. Quite a lot. I'm getting my zinc and my white. Quite a lot of those. And we're going to start to layer some distant back petals of this white peony. See how we're doing?
Yeah.
Let's give some big ones right here. Some distant little crazy ones. Now I can also sometimes get into my turquoise and get a bunch of my zinc on there, and I let the pink and whatever's on my palette sort of get in, and you can see that. Maybe that wonderful petal, and let's give some broken little petals of skirting that are coming out, as we might want. You can always bring these back over if you had a petal you weren't feeling. So I went stroke, stroke, stroke. See that? And I'm letting some of that get in there. Don't be afraid of that, because you're putting in those distant little explosions of joy. That's what you've got going there, distant little explosions of joy. Now the next one, I might get just a little bit of my yellow on the brush. It's okay if some pink gets picked up in it. That doesn't hurt it. Because again, these little streaks often happen in these flowers. I'm going to load right up on the tip here. I'm going to make that little double stroke. Let's put another one right here. Just implying that there's something happening there. Get a little more. Now maybe back into some yellow and some pink. A little bit stronger, right?
Yeah.
Grab my zinc, and let's put a little of that here. Maybe a kiss of those there. You can see I'm on the corner of the brush, and I go stroke, 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 stroke right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is going to be even prettier than the study. It's just going to get better and better and better. It does. It just gets better and better and better. Now in the center here, I'm going to take just a smidge of my Cad Red Medium. You could use Naphthol Red Medium. You just want something to warm it up. And if you didn't have it at all, you could just use the magenta that you have. Okay. I'm going to just very gently in here apply. I'm using just the corner. This center of the flower. That's sort of fun. And I'm going to get a little of my Cad Red Medium and just touch the corner in a couple places. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
This is really fun. I could do these all day. I could do 100 lessons of these little flowers all day.
They're a lot of fun.
They are for me. I'm taking the corner of my brush. Can you see me touching?
Yeah.
Into the surface like that. Oh, that's fun. I don't even need to rinse out. I can just go right into some pink there that I happen to have. And let's get a bunch of our white onto that. Maybe even a little streak of yellow. And let's start to put some forward-facing petals that are going to start to come forward a little bit right here. And maybe one right here. Look at that. Now we need to do some skirting down here. Some little bit of the bloom that's opening, just pulling open and just being its awesome self. How are you guys doing today? I'm really enjoying showing you how to do this. I hope you're having fun. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now listen, something I'm going to say, because we were talking about it in the live chat over on the ArtSherpa Retreat channel. If during the day you find that your eyes are getting tired, your vision's getting fuzzy, remember painting, if you do it a lot, can cause some eye fatigue. So it's important to take time to rest. Close your eyes and do deep breaths, or look away from your painting at something else in the house. Remember to rest those eyes, because it's not just those shoulder muscles that we're working or those mental muscles, it's those eye muscles too. I know that sounds goofy, but it's true.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's important.
Important health things you must know. All right.
Yay. What brush
Into
are
my
you using?
zinc, I am still on this number. I doubt I'm going to change it. This number 8 ruby sand.
Okay.
I'm going to get a little of my turquoise into that, but I do let some of the pink that you can see is here get picked up into it as well. It's a heavy load on the brush. And we're going to start pulling in sort of some low petal skirting. Pulling that in. And you can see me, curving that stroke in on that petal. Maybe this one kind of comes back a bit. Get a little more of my... It's so fun to have. And I'll grab a little titanium white so it's got a little stronger aspect there.
That's nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's make some over here. And then come back up. Oh, I need some more white, so I'm going to just grab that. And what's really nice is sometimes if you get a little of the turquoise and the yellow in, as you saw me just doing, mixing loosely, you can come back and you get this kind of warmed up aspect. So I just kind of went stroke, stroke. So I'm trying to give you the little toward up, delicate little petals that will sometimes happen as you're going. We're nearly done. We have just a couple more rows of petals, and then we've painted 2 lovely peonies with a white focal peony in the center.
Really, really have.
Yeah, we really have. I'm going to get just a smidge of the yellow into my brush, and I'm going to work it in. See how I work that in? So now that pigment's really all in the belly of the brush. You can dip just the toe of your brush in water if you're having any flow problems. You can see I just grabbed a little bit and grabbed so much white paint. Now, I don't want to take out all this wonderful work that I did there, but I do have to paint some forward petals. So I pulled in, And I curved over here. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Let's come here. Now let's do some of our in focus petals. So this involves us going a little more on the edge of our brush and painting those that maybe we're seeing in perspective. I can always add just one or two that came out like that. And there we go. Again, and I like the second one even better than the first.
Wow, that turned out so nice.
It's even bigger and more.
It is.
Now, what's wonderful on your paintings is you can sign it. I'm going to grab a little of my white and my yellow. I don't want it to be, overwhelming. I don't want it to take away from the painting. So I'm going to just sign over here. Practice this more than once if you've never done it before. I certainly didn't do it the first time I tried, or the second or the third. It took me a few times to learn how to loosen up and paint these flowers. In fact, and John will tell you this, I would do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Get up and paint some flowers.
Yeah.
And there were many flowers that I did not think were fine. But I knew I could do it if I didn't give up on myself. And I challenge you not to give up on yourself and celebrate not just the results on your easel, but the journey that you're taking as a creative being. Okay, I'm going to go front easel bib. Woo, beautiful palette. So, isn't that like an expression of joy? Now, if you did that on a big, 4 foot by 4 foot canvas using a large square brush, all those techniques are exactly the same. You would just do it with the bigger brush and those big strokes. You've got my number 30. You're ready to paint a very large canvas with large peonies. I may have to show that to you sometime. It's easier to do than you think. Takeaway from this lesson is believe in yourself, because we believe in you. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. And I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.